Chapter 2. The Face of Fear. Although there are ancient paintings depicting how evil looked, I think when you see it up close, hear it speak, see it staring at you straight into your eyes, that is when fear takes life. I think it was the stage dramas that gave fear a face. In them, people saw the blood sucking evil beings in person, and slowly the ghost living on the old banyan tree, the lady of the haunted house, and the creatures of the dark forest became scarier with their horrifying, ugly, but clear faces. Although seeing a ghost or monster on stage was scary, stage plays had its limitations too. Firstly, they were not a daily business. People couldn't afford to see them on a daily basis. They were always a community spectacle happening once or twice a year. Also, not everyone could see them clearly due to the immense crowd. I recently, and for the first time, went for a stage play, and all I could see from the back was a stage with too many lights. People on stage wearing wigs on their heads and some really colorful clothes. They were shouting at the top of their voice. So you see, even in stage plays, most of the details were shared through word of mouth by the people sitting at the front row, which were near to the stage, as not much was visible to the people at the back. But the stage dramas did had a great impact on the generation. I remember my father telling me how much he was terrified when he saw a yakshi, a chudail, on stage for the first time. He was so scared that his parents had to take him to a priest. I think it was the television and the cinema that actually changed everything. They became a personal experience. Although everyone saw it in a group and knew that the whole world was watching it the way they did, still, movies were more clear with better sound and visuals. Also, each person watching felt a personal bond with it, as if the characters were talking to them. I remember watching a horror movie on TV for the first time. They were more terrifying then than now, as there was so much of physical makeup involved, and with all that extra nose, ear, hand, and eye, or in that case, the absence of it, seemed extremely haunting. I still remember the giants from the old Ramsay movies. Those were people who were terrifying even without makeup. All that flying, fire from eye, and never ending storms and flying leaves, especially in the forest scenes. There was always a haunted forest or an abandoned fort in those movies. Nowadays, everything is computer generated. The sounds even are altered with. You can say they are fake the moment you see them. Well, it was not that we didn't knew they were fake then, but I think seeing all that extra makeup and the stress the actors went through, people felt in their heart an obligation to be scared. It's never my intention in any way to degrade the hard work of the horror filmmakers and actors of today. They really, really work hard. I think it's just us who are to be blamed, the 90s kids. The thing is, we saw those movies when we were small, and I would call that period the high phase. When someone smokes marijuana and is high, they feel extreme emotions. They are either too happy or too sad, or they feel extremely about whatever they feel at that time. They don't remember much about it afterwards. All they remember is that it was extreme. Memories we have of that time are similar to this. So, although we don't remember much about it, but for us, the places we visited then were the best places there are, and the food we ate was the best one could ever get. The crushes we had during that time were the most amazing ones. So, similarly, the horror experiences that we had during that time were the worst. It's scientifically proven that our experiences during our childhood affects us mentally and physically, affecting the way we think in our life to come. But the truth is that the seed of fear for ghosts, monsters, or anything scary was sowed in our brain even before the high phase, at a period of our lives that we remember nothing of, and the people responsible for it are none other than our dear parents, in most cases, or sometimes our relatives or some other people we love and respect. Almost every child, when they are small and when they show tantrums, are told a story. This story always has a monster with a terrifying name and a much more terrifying voice. And the moral of the story will always be that if the kid doesn't behave, the monster will come and take him or her away. Now, for some kids, the story would be enough, but there are always those who are more curious and want to know what happened next. So, depending upon the mood of the storyteller, either they are told a great, wonderful story or they are scarred for life. And I belonged to the second type of kids, the curious ones. And so I was scared and interested at the same time towards such topics. Just like the characters in the horror stories who go after the sound or laughter or singing into the forest and never return. So, like most of the population, I too had my moments of fear.